Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. Why are you cheery this morning, Baz? Matt O'Reilly is about to be sold. Well, before we talk about that, I thought you needed a bit of a cheering up this morning. Listen to this lot, because at least we're not one of them.
I don't know, Brian. Is there a fear with Rangers supporters, or is it just a genuinely are they looking about? I say Rangers supporters as if we're not Rangers supporters.
You're no Rangers supporters. You're Sevco supporters. You're just Sevco in the skies. Yes, you are.
Are we looking about and looking at Scottish football, and because of everything, let's just put my cards on the table, Brian. Because of everything that's happened over the last X amount of years since 2012.
Well, liquidation, da 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 da. Oh, liquidation, da 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 da.
14 years ago.
Oh,
Since all that's happened.
Wait a minute. I blame the schools. 14 years ago, 2012, 14 years ago. It's 2024.
Actually doing it, and I don't know why that is.
Or do we just not want to deal with these clubs as supporters? I say Rangers supporters as if we're not Rangers supporters. Are we looking about and looking at Scottish football, and because of everything, let's just put my cards on the table, Brian. Because of everything that's happened over the last X amount of years since 2012.
2012.
14 years ago. Since all that.
Oh my goodness. Right, everything that's happened since 2012, and that was 14 years ago. Yep, he said it. He said it. Everything that's happened since it's only 2014, eh? So that makes it 12 years ago. And they say Catholic schools are bad. Wow.
That's happened. Do we look at Scottish football? Do we look at Scottish teams differently? Do we look at the players differently? Look, I don't know, Brian. Is there a fear with Rangers supporters, or is it just a genuinely are they looking about?
Of course there's a fear with Rangers supporters, because the Rangers died.
I say Rangers supporters as if we're not Rangers supporters. Are we?
You're not. You're Sevco.
Are we looking about and looking at Scottish football, and because of everything, let's just put my cards on the table, Brian. Because of everything that's happened over the last X amount of years since 2012, 14 years ago. Since all that's happened, do we look at Scottish football? Do we look at Scottish teams differently? Do we look at the players differently? Have we get preconceived judgments? Or do we just not want to deal with these clubs as supporters? I mean, of course.
I'll tell you one thing. I wouldn't want to play cards with this guy, because if you put 2012 to 2014, it's not 14 years, is it? And the fact is, nobody corrects him. Nobody corrects him at all.
Yeah, I think there's a general sort of it's almost
spit it out.
If they're playing for likes of a Dundee or Kilmarnock, they think the jump from Kilmarnock to Rangers is too great. Well, effectively, you're still playing in the same league. You're just playing with a better bunch of players at Rangers.
Comical. You can't even say things like that.
And surely, if you're playing with better players, you're going to perform better as well. So for me, it's you're playing in the same league. You're up against the same opposition. From for example, somebody mentioned the boy Armstrong there, right? He's playing at Killie and getting goals and getting assists, playing for Killie. You just think to yourself, if he was playing at Rangers, obviously normally slightly better players. I'll say normally. So they improve. They naturally improve because they're playing with better players. That's what you want, and you want to keep evolving. You want to keep getting better. And for me, there's a lot of sort of will they cope with playing for it? Well, we don't know until you sign them. But if it was Armstrong, Dino, folk would want to sign him because he's got a fancy name. You know what I mean? So it's for me. I would always sort of. As somebody said, I think it was Gallus in the comments. If you have a poor Scottish team, they'll
I can't take any more of that. I can't. Sorry, the fun of game's over. I can't take any more. It's far too early in the morning. For the missus has just said, "What the fuck are you laughing at?" Well, yeah. Let's just go over that once more. Everything that's happened to us since 2012, 14 years ago. It's currently 2024 when you're watching this video. Anyway, let's get into the Celtic news. There's one thing that's for sure. They give us a good laugh over the last 12 years. Just dying to say 14, but can't. Anyway, we all know the situation with Matt O'Reilly is it's looking like the end game for Matt O'Reilly. And the one thing that we have to say about the one and only Matt O'Reilly is that he's never forced this move away from Celtic, which is, you can only sort of say hats off to the player. There's been many players that have been here before and in this situation before. They couldn't wait to jump ship at the very first offer they came in. And although Matt O'Reilly has talks with Brendan on a daily basis, you've got to say, hats off for just performing the way he has over the first couple of games of the season and just being the player he is. And if it is the end game, you know, we wish him well. We do wish him well. And we wish him well with hopefully a 15 to 30% sell-on clause so that we can make even more money down the road. The fact that O'Reilly has insisted that he's in no hurry to leave Celtic. He does have long-term ambitions to play in one of Europe's major leagues, having obviously he's attracted bids from Spain, Italy, and now England. Solid bids. I mean, there's been speculation that he was going to attract bids from Germany, which haven't happened yet. It looks like he will end up going down to England. Will Celtic make a move for McGowan up in Dundee? There's been a lot of talk about that, but it's only £1 million, and it's like, well, the guy can do a decent job. I seem to be warming to getting this guy, and it's only going to cost us just over £1 million. It'll fill the Scottish quota. We do need a Scottish player in, especially the fact that our keeper that was in for the Scottish quota last year seems to be put down to third position, and we did lose another player. I just think that Brendan Rodgers said at the weekend, look, even before Matt O'Reilly leaves, we need another one in that position, and we need another one midfielder in. If Matt O'Reilly leaves, it means two. So that's two players we need in. We need a third striker that Brendan Rodgers spoke about. We need a left back, and we need a centre half. Are we going to get 5 players in before the end of the transfer window? That's obviously something that Nicholson and the finance director, and I wonder what Brendan Rodgers is really thinking at this moment. He will toe the party line. He will toe the party line and say, look, these guys are doing fantastic work in the background, but I wonder what his own private thoughts really are. No manager can be entirely happy with the situation. No manager would ever be entirely happy with the situation. They all want to get their players in first. I mean, look at the way that we're not any stronger as it goes into the last 10 days. It's 10 days, isn't it? I didn't even know what... After that whole 14-year escapade at the beginning of the video, it's completely thrown me. Yeah, there's only 10 days left of the transfer window. And can Celtic move fast enough to get the players in to make us stronger? Because I've got a feeling that we're going to go into this Champions League and fans are going to be very disappointed to mark a trademarked term by the one and only Tavernier at Rangers. And apologies if it is I know it's trademarked by Tavernier, so apologies for saying that word. We need to get a different word from disappointed. Deeply upset at the current situation at Celtic. Fucking no, we're not. We're top of the league, looking down on that lot. That lot are a complete shambles. We're about to sell a player for 25 to 30 million. We're going to break a transfer record in Scotland. If Matt O'Reilly goes, no one's bigger than the club. We've been here before. Listen, he's not a Henrik Larsson. We're not down on our knees crying and saying, God, he's leaving. He's leaving us. Oh, the memories. I can't stop laughing at the 14-year stuff. It's just a shambles this morning. I must apologise. The Celtic news has went out the window. We know that there's not a lot of real speculation out there about what's actually happening in the back office of Celtic. We can all speculate all we want. We know that the one factual bit of evidence this morning is that Brighton are in talks with Celtic over the next couple of days, which seems to suggest to me that that deal will get done. And it's just up to Matt O'Reilly, really, whether he wants to go. Can Celtic get in the players that we need to make us stronger going into the Champions League? That is the question that the guys that go to the press conference this week need to ask. Are you confident that the squad is going to be stronger? Here's the question for you to ask, guys. Is the squad going to be stronger going into the Champions League, boss? And that's an honest question. You know, and it's like, do you feel that we are in a better place than last year? It's an honest question. Are we in a better place than last year going into the Champions League? And do you feel confident? I mean, he's always going to turn around. I'm confident in this group of players and what they can achieve as a group. But we would like to be stronger. The first quarter, or the first half of the last season, Brendan Rodgers spoke about the final third. We seem to got our act together in what's happening in the final third. He's got the squad of players now playing the way he wants. People are now coming out and saying that he's actually playing better than the way that Ange Postecoglou's team was playing. But I just have that little bit at the back of me that this board has fallen asleep at the wheel. And I didn't want to end this on a sad note, and I'm not going to end it on a sad note because, let's face it, we're not them. And we can count from 2012 to 2024 and know that it's only 12 years. And they say blame the schools. Anyway, on that note, have a fantastic day. You know, if there's going to be any update at all, I will jump straight on and do a video and maybe even a live. We'll be live tonight at 8 p.m. Celtic Park time. It was a bit quiet tonight because there was a game on the telly that a lot of people were watching. Anyway, will today be the day that Matt O'Reilly is finally sold? The Matt O'Reilly saga comes to an end at Celtic. And who will we get in as a replacement? Is spending $1 million on another player a fantastic deal for Celtic? You bring in for the Scottish quota. Is he a player that we can turn around? Or can we make him into a McTominay? There you go. I don't think so. But anyway, we can all wish and hope. And on that note, have a fantastic day to Celtic fans all around the world, especially you. Yes, you, right? You. Yep, you. Because you've watched to the end. Thank you. And I mean that. The bottom of my heart.
Lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to